All right, you guys, so welcome to our team call. This is literally July 16th, so we are halfway through the month, and I am so excited for today. I'm going to do a couple announcements, and then we're going to dive right into our guest speaker. So I am so excited. So if you guys are jumping on, mute your lines. But you guys, I'm so proud of all you guys. So you want to hear something pretty crazy? So corporate asked us today, I have corporate meetings every week, and I've got one tomorrow morning at like 9 a.m. And they ask us like our goals every week and like every month, like where we're at, like right now, where we're at. So I want all of you guys to type in the comment area 2 things. Okay? I want you to type under chat where you're at, but where you're going to end the month. What your goal for the month is, okay? So like I told, like I'm in Success Club 30 right now. I've got my goal by the end of the week is 40. And I know you guys, any of you guys that are on, don't let that, I mean, my goal is just, that's just my goal. And you'll get there. And I know all of you guys will surpass me. And then they were like, what's your goal for your team? And I'm like, well, I want 10 rank advancements minimum. And I want 10 coaches to hit all their goals this month. Minimum. And do you guys know we're already halfway? Well, first of all, so many of you guys have already hit Success Club. So I want you guys to hit chat and say where you're at, okay? Because I want to give you guys a huge shout out. But here's what I want. I don't want anybody to be like, oh, well, I can't type anything. Hell yeah, you can. You get your booty over there and you type right now, because you know what you're going to do is you're going to type what you're going to end at, okay? Hey, TC. Kendra is Success Club 8. She's going to end at 15. Freaking love it. Love. So I want you guys to type where you're at and then where you're going to end the month at, okay? And then even type like what you want for your team. So like, here's the one thing that's really huge. It's always really great to like have a goal for yourself, but what's also your goal for your team? So type that in. Let's see. Karen says Success Club 2, 10 the end of the month. Shonda, no Success Club at 5. That's awesome. Danielle hit Emerald, and I want to hit Success Club. Absolutely. April says not at Success Club this month yet, but definitely hitting Success Club sit by the end of the month. Hell yeah. So like seriously, with Lift 4 coming out, y'all should like know it should be like cake, and I know you guys can do it, okay? Let's see. Elisa says currently at 0, but want to hit Success Club. Absolutely. So you guys go after it. Never forget why you started. So I'm just briefly going to go over a couple things. I'm so pumped watching all of you guys just dive into the challenge groups. Just share what you're doing for the day. Share what you're eating. Share some things that have helped you. Like I think sometimes when we start a new challenge group, we kind of go, what am I supposed to do? Here's what I want you guys to do is I want you to just share what's working for you. That is simple as that. All the other things are going to come into play and say, hey, this is what held me accountable today. Right now, do you want to know what held me accountable today? Literally the fact that I posted that damn picture this morning, dang it. And I said, drop your selfie below of your workout. And I knew I got my workout. I almost was like, well, maybe I could do a double tomorrow. Because, oh my gosh, it's just crazy. I've got relatives here and this week's a little bit crazy. My schedule is a little bit off, which is, it's okay. It's the blessing of this job, right? But I finished my workout. It sucked. I like literally didn't go heavy. I just went through some of the motions. I got it done, but I took that selfie because I knew I had to share it in the group. And it's as simple as that, you guys. Like, throw out a challenge in the groups. Don't just let me do it. Maybe it's a water challenge, a lunch challenge, whatever it might be, something that you're struggling with. I didn't know that was going to be my struggle today, but I just thought, how cool would it be for all of us to share day one? And here's what would be really, really cool on social media, you guys, on your Instagram stories. Every day, I challenge every single one of you guys to do this. Do a selfie every single day. Do not share what program you did, but do day 1, done, or however you want to word it. Day 2, day 3. And I also challenge you on your Instagram to do the same thing. Chest and tries, day 1, done. Give people the opportunity to ask what the hell you're doing. They're going to be like, well, what? How'd you know what to do? And you're like, girlfriend, let me tell you, I can tell you what I did, right? So kind of make it fun and like be like day day 18, done, right? And get the people to come along with you. So TC currently at 1 emerald and Success Club 4. Yes, TC, hit Success Club 10, girl. You can do it. It's 5 people. I know you can do it, girl. 5 brand new people for this month. That will also, so TC, the reason I say that, you're emerald, you hit Success Club 10, you get free leads and customers. Bam, okay? So do that. So I wanted to share today why I chose Kendra. If you guys don't follow her, make sure that you guys do. As the guest speaker on our team, I actually think we need more guest speakers from our team because so many of you guys are crushing it. But the one thing that the reason I want to choose more of you guys is it's important that you guys hear how they're doing it as a brand new coach, right? So that they're not 4, 5, 6 years in going, oh, well, you just have all this time. You guys can relate to her. So can I tell you guys a story about how our conversation started on social media? At least one of them, and I'm curious what Kendra says because I know we had ones before this, but this is the one that really comes to my mind when I think about this. And you guys, we think so hard about this business. We've got to relate through our shape. We've got to relate through our pre-workout. We've got to relate through our workout. We've got to relate through all this stuff. Do you know how the conversation went with Kendra? I wore a damn beautiful skull shirt from Target that had lace on it. And I had a hater that was like, oh, you're a Christian and you're wearing a skull shirt? How the hell are you a Christian? As I cussed too, right? And I was like, oh my God, really? And so like I went on social media and I was like, I don't know, I kind of like my shirt. Like it was like, it was actually really cute. I don't even have it anymore, Kendra. I think I chopped it up so much I had to throw it away. But like it literally is like a skull but it was like in lace and it was so cute. And of course it was from Target. Crazy thing is Kendra sends me a selfie on social media. She goes, girlfriend, I own the same damn shirt. She goes, rock it, and I'm a Christian. And that was how our conversation started. It was not through all these like 4 vital behaviors I'm sharing. It was through me just like obsessed with Target shopping there and through one of my haters. So here's what I always do, and you guys always hear me talk about this. Let your haters empower you. Let them join you. Use that as momentum in your business because every time I have one, it tells me what I need to share on social media. Oh, somebody said that. 10 other people think that. 20 other people. 100 people think that. So I'm just going to ask, hey, what do y'all think, right? So that was our first initial conversation. Come to find out, now Kendra's joined my team. I know that she was working with another person and just really felt a connection with our team and has lost 20 pounds. And I believe she's helping over 36 people now. Like, she's freaking crushing. You guys, it's the 16th of the month, and she's going to already at the end of this week hit 15 Success Club points. That is insane. So I'm going to let Kendra share what she is doing as a brand new coach. For any of you guys don't know, she works at Costco. She works full time. She's got 4 kids. Like, I'm sorry, like if she can do it, anybody can do it. I've watched her confidence and just her become this amazing 10-star diamond coach over freaking night. Just going and sharing and living it. But I watch her bust her butt and hustle hard and do it for the right reason. She's hustling with heart, and I see it. So without further ado, I want Kendra to take over, and all of you guys get your notepads out, take notes, okay? And then we'll do a Q&A at the end, but Kendra, go.
Wow. Okay. So I was nervous before that. Now I'm really nervous. So my number one fear, let me just put it out there, is speaking in front of people. It's my number one on the top. I actually am a singer, and I don't sing because I can't get on stage unless I can turn around backwards and sing backwards. So I've had a bit of my wine to make sure that I was stable to come and talk. So just to let you know, I'm going to be probably looking at my notes a lot just for that reason. But thank you so much for believing in me and thinking that I have something to add to what you already teach us. So for me, I've been doing this. Your story's pretty correct. It's pretty spot on as far as the skull t-shirt story. I was not working with another coach, like specifically. I did have several people, I was in their challenge groups, and I had been told multiple times that anybody that was as high as Rhonda, because I had brought her name up, was very much just, they sent you generic emails. You didn't ever get the support like this where we had a team. And so it was very negative. Everything was very negative, which if anybody knows our team and the rest of Beachbody, that's the exact opposite of what we're trying to do. And so I got in touch with Rhonda, and I think that was my first question. So do you send me generic answers, or are you going to talk to me? And she sent me a voicemail, and I was like, well, boom, there you are. I guess she's the real thing. So that's kind of how we met up. And then I saw the skull t-shirt, and I was like, no way, sister. I got tattoos, I wear skulls and combat boots, and I'm a Christian. That's just not okay for somebody to say that. So I reached out to her because I felt bad about it. I didn't think that was okay. So anyway, I think everything kind of turned around all of a sudden, to be honest with you, just in the last couple of weeks. I honestly, I had 0 in June, 0. 0, no new challengers, no SC points, nothing in June. And I think that now that I think back on it, I think that was because I went sideways a little bit, and I stopped putting myself first, and I stopped really making sure that my brain was in the right place and that I was doing my personal development. And I was half-assing it, to be honest with you. I was kind of saying, oh, well, let me see if I can just help 3 people this month, and I'll try and do my best. And I was only putting in a little bit of effort, if I'm being totally honest. And then I watched the Wake Up Call on July 9th. So if you have not watched that one, with Allie, that really hit home for me, because she was speaking about fears. And I live my life in fear of everything, just trying to change that, but still do. And so the 3 things I got from her conversation was being rooted, getting uncomfortable, and taking action. And just the way that she worded a lot of it, I wrote out like 2 pages of notes on that call, which has never happened before. And then it's kind of a God thing, because then Rhonda set up all those phone calls with everybody and said, hey, pick a time and we'll talk it through. And so I just come off the call of watching the Wake Up Call, and then having Rhonda, talk to me and call me out. Basically, I'm just going to say it. She pretty much slapped me. I remember hanging up with Rhonda, and she had said to me, and this stuck with me hard, because it was kind of like a gut punch. I told her my goal was like, oh, I'm gonna help 3 to 5 people this month. And she just looked through the lens at me like, what? Are you serious? That's it? That goal is way too small. And she just kind of just threw it out there. And I was like, yeah, but that's what I know I can do. And then we hung up, and I sat there for a few minutes, and I thought to myself, that's what I know I can do. That means that my goals are not big enough. If it's something that I know I can do, it's not big enough. And so the last thing she said to me before she hung up was, set a scary goal, not something you can do. And so I sat in my car and I said, okay, I'm just going to say 10. I'm just going to help 10 people this month. That's it. I'm throwing it out there. That's scary. I don't think I can do it, but I'm going to try for it. And if I fail, I fail. And so, like God help, like he steps in and helps us out a lot. And I had a huge, huge example just happen on Saturday night that I can share with you guys. And this is what it boils down to for me, solving the fear issue that Allie was talking about and what Rhonda's been talking about. And I've just kind of been putting on the back burner for 6 months. It all came to a head this weekend after those 2 conversations and phone calls that I was able to have. I was at a family party on Saturday night, and it was a big one. It's my uncle's Indian, so it was a huge party. Like, all of them are there. And my cousin came up to me very shyly, and she's, overweight and not healthy right now. And she's mentally not in a good place. And she came over very shyly and said, you motivate me so much by your posts. And I said, that started our conversation. Well, as we were talking about it, she said it was very quietly, you could tell that she had worked up so much courage to come and just talk to me for, you know, just to ask me that as my cousin, which really hit me because I was like, we're related. You should be able to ask me anything. And right when she did that, my mom came up, and just to let you know, my mom and my sister are probably my least big, like they don't support me at all in pretty much anything I choose to do. And right in the middle of it, my mom came up and she just kind of shut me down. She shut the conversation down. She shut me down. She said, oh, you did great on your treadmill training, Amy. You can do it. She's just dieting. And that kind of ended the conversation. And I went over to the table because I immediately just shut down and went into my fear mode of, oh my gosh, what are they going to think about me? What are they going to say? Oh, everybody's, you know, thinking, you know, that I'm crazy and I don't know what I'm doing. And I went over to the table, and my mom and my sister were both sitting at the table, and they're both being kind of negative about it. And I looked over, and my cousin was just standing there with like so much, as far as I'm concerned, I had so much respect for her that she'd reached out to me and that she was hurting, and I knew that she wasn't in a good place. So I sat at the table and I thought about Rhonda and what she told me, and I thought about Allie and about fears, and I thought to myself, I can get my butt up off this table and shut my mom and dad and my sister down and just walk away and not have conversation with them and go over and help somebody who really needs it, or I can be the old Kendra and just sit here and let that opportunity go by, and then I'm not reaching out and helping somebody who really needs my help. And so in that scenario, I realized what my root ground why is. I realized that I got to get uncomfortable sometimes, even though it's family members. Those are the ones that are going to hurt you the most, I think, are the closest ones. And I took action, and I got up and I walked across the table and I set up a coffee date with her this week. And so that to me was like, bam, I'm going to do what I need to do. And I don't care what you guys think anymore. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to have that fear not give me the opportunity to help people that might need it. And I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. I don't care if they're judging me or thinking that I'm crazy, loony, you're selling stuff, you're pyramid scheming, whatever I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. So that was a way for me to share with you guys how I implemented the 3 things that Allie just talked about, and how that all kind of wove together in 1 week, you know, or 2 weeks, is you know, watching that call, talking to Rhonda, and then having that happen. And it just kind of smacking me in the head that this is what she's talking about. We can't worry so much about what other people are thinking about us. We just got to do what we know is right and reach out there are people out there hurting that need us, basically, is what it comes down to. And that's my root. That's my why. Is I don't care about the money. Is it nice? Yeah. Has it been nice to pay off some bills with the money? Yeah. Would it be great to go on the vacations? Absolutely. Those are some big goals that I'm now thinking I might even have the opportunity to do. But the root for me that motivates me to push through my fear is the fact that I don't want any woman to feel the way that I felt when I first reached out to Rhonda. I don't want it makes me want to cry just talking about it. So pisses you off or makes you cry, basically. I just have a very deep passion for not letting any woman not appreciate herself and love herself. So anyhow, the other things I've started implementing that seem to really be working right now for me is, and these are a little bit different than Rhonda's because my group's small. I first started with an accountability group that had 35 women in it. And when I switched it over to to Beachbody, and that you had to be a Beachbody, you had to be buying something from Beachbody to be in my team, it dropped down to like 15. And I've built it back up to 23 or 24 now. Actually, I just talked to 2 girls today, so it's going to be 25. Woo-hoo. So I let anybody who purchases from my website into my challenge groups. And the reason that I do that, that's a little different than Rhonda. She has them by Shakeology, and then they get a week free. Right now for me, what works for me is I'm letting anybody that purchases off my website into my group. And the reason that I'm doing that is I've had 3 women that they've dragged their feet. I'm just buying DVDs. I'm just doing this. I'm just doing that. And they've already switched over and they've bought Beachbody On Demand. One of them has bought Beachbody On Demand, is now doing Lift 4 with me. And the other one started Shakeology. So I feel like when they get in there and they start seeing the posts from the other ladies, and we're showing that we're drinking our shakes, and we're showing these exercises, and we're showing that we, our sweaty selfies or whatever, I'm going to win you over. I'm just going to put you in there and I'm going to win you over. Some people need a little bit longer. I've had one in there for 2 months, one for 2 weeks. Sometimes it takes a little convincing and a little bit of time. And so for me, while I'm growing my group, I just let everybody in there for right now. That seems to work for me. The other thing I'm doing is I switched my posts. They started getting kind of generic, I noticed, and just really, I wasn't sharing my soul. And that's hard. That's a fear. I don't ever want to sound generic. That's the one thing that all of my ladies in my group, the reason they've decided to be in my challenge group is every single one of them has always said to me, you're so transparent. You always keep it real. If you're having a crap day, you say it. And you put it out there for everybody. Like I'll post my before and after pictures in my sports bra and my underwear for everyone to see, because it's going to help that one lady that just doesn't have the nerve to ask me for help. And so if I can help that one lady because of that picture, I'm willing to put it out there for anybody. So I changed my posts up a little bit lately. I'm not 100% at it. I'm still learning. I've only been doing this for 6 months, but I just feel like if they can read through it. I know I can read through somebody's post that it's kind of like they knew that they needed to post this today, so they posted it, or they knew they needed to post this, so they posted it. Sometimes you just got to do it off the cuff. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just got to be raw, and it has to be vulnerable sometimes, and it has to be transparent. Everything about my life is transparent. You want to ask me about my adoption, go right ahead. You want to ask me about my faith, go right ahead. I don't have anything to hide, and I think that comes through in those posts. And then the last thing I did was, this was last month in June. Instead of just sitting back in the previous months when things start slowing down, because they do, right now is a wave. It's awesome. I'm going to ride that wave as long as I can, because Lift 4 just came out, and it's kind of like Rhonda said, you can do this. It just came out. So just start, really puffing up Lift 4, and you're going to get people who want to join you. But last month, like I said, I had 0. There was nothing. It was like quiet. And I used to, in the previous months when it was really slow, I was just so concerned on that number of, I haven't helped anybody this month. I haven't helped anybody this month. And so last month instead, I doubled up on all my personal development. I started working on me, and I started building my tribe. I already have 23 women sitting in my challenge group that need my help, and I don't want them leaving me. So I started doubling up on my own personal development. I started doubling up on my time spent in my challenge group, since nobody else was answering my Instagram posts and nobody was answering my Facebook posts. And I'm going to work with the ladies I have, and I'm going to make sure that they get everything they need and that they succeed, because that's 23 women. If this all falls apart tomorrow, that's 23 women that I helped make a difference in their life. And that's my why. So I've already accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish. So anything I set out to do now, or any goals that I set now, is pretty much above and beyond what I ever thought I'd be able to do to begin with. And so that's kind of what I've been doing, and that's kind of it. I mean, the biggest thing I can say is to definitely watch that wake up call about fears. If that's something that really holds you back and doesn't let you believe in yourself enough to know that you can accomplish this, then that was a huge one for me. And making sure that you set goals that scare the crap out of you. Even if you don't make them, it's okay. What does it matter if you don't make SC 10 at the end of the month? But you should have set that goal at the beginning of the month to begin with, to work towards it at least. And if you don't make it, you don't make it. So
Kendra, I love that. So I would love to, I took 2 pages of notes. I would love to kind of go over them and then kind of share a few things in addition to what you shared, because I love everything that you shared. And it's crazy. There's so much we can share on the calls sometimes, that I love the things you shared, because it reminds me, I'm like, oh, I haven't shared that, or, oh, this is how I used to do it. And so I want to actually share a couple things on this, but I love what you just said, is to set a goal that scares the crap out of you. And if you don't hit it, it's okay. So I want to share something with you guys. I have 2 very large goals in this business that I had set previously that I did not hit. And do you know what's amazing is within that time frame that I was going after that goal, and I'll kind of share a little of them with you guys because I could have let them break me, but I didn't, is I grew tremendously. So it's interesting, like you look, you go, well, I didn't hit that goal. Yeah, but what happened trying to hit that goal? I can never look back and go, oh, I didn't grow while I was trying to hit it. Hell no, every single time I grew a ton. So one of my very first ones I'll never forget is I missed the cutoff for one of the free trips for the leadership to be one of my first years by 2 weeks. I hit the goal that I had to hit 2 weeks after I would have had to hit it to be able to go on the trip. And I could have easily been like, oh my God, like, woe is me. But instead I was like, man, I grew a ton within that. Yeah, sure. Did I have a moment? I was like, crap, that sucks. Yeah, but I was able to change so many lives and there was major growth between that. The other thing, you guys, is, what was it, like a year and a half ago, I had Elite locked in for 11 months. I locked Elite in for 11 months straight. The end of November, I lost it. The last 30 days of the month, I had 4 diamond coaches drop, and they went to the wine business. And you know what's interesting is, like, all year long, I was like, I freaking nailed that goal so early on that they were like, even Beachbody was like, oh my God, like, you've already like tripled your numbers for the year. How did you do that? And then I was like, my team is changing a ton of lives. It's great. The last 30 days of the years, I lost it. And I could have let that break me, you guys, but instead what it did is, yeah, I had a moment, of course, you can stomp your feet and stuff, but then you're like, you know what? Look what happened in the midst of that. Do you know what I actually got to share with you guys that happened? I have amazing people on my team. I have people that lead with their heart so big, more than I ever have in my entire life, that I am so crystal clear that that happened for a reason, and God put that in my path, and I see that now. I really do. I've got people that are leading with their hearts, not just with their sign. So, but Kendra, I want to go back to your notes on, you stopped putting yourself first. The very first thing you said is, you said you stopped putting yourself first when you were succeeding in this business. When you were noticing growth within this business, you stopped living the 4 vital behaviors. And I think it's actually interesting when a coach messages me, the very first thing I ask them is, I'm like, what are your 4 vitals right now? Like, instantly when somebody says they're struggling, my very first question, actually, by the way, if anybody ever messaged me, is like, what are you listening to? What's your personal development? Because I know that if you're struggling, you're not feeding your mind. And it's not to like just say, but you know what? I've been there. I have moments now where I'm like, oh my God, like I had quite a few moments last week, and it wasn't even a PMS week. It was just, I had to double up on my personal development, like Kendra said, because it was like the devil trying to come in. I was like, no. And then I use my social media to empower those moments. A lot of times, and I'll kind of share what Kendra's doing that, which I love. Kendra, the picture that you shared, that I think it was your sister took of you in that moment when you watched your son boxing, I saw that picture just scrolling through social media, and I stopped. My news feed stopped. If y'all didn't see it, my news feed stopped. Instead of scrolling, I was like, what's going on? And I read that, and I was like, oh, it was amazing. Like, have those moments where it's like, share your life, live your life. I had a moment yesterday at the grocery store. My kids were for sale. They literally, like, just check them out and take them. They were for sale. And so in that moment, as they're throwing all this shit in my cart, I was like, take a damn picture, because I'm gonna die right now. I was like, wait, I need to show people they can live their lives too, but my kids are for sale, right? And in that moment, I took that picture and I was like, I'm sharing that tomorrow, because people need to know that they can buy some of these things. They can do this and they can live their life. So live your life in the moment. But Kendra, I love you said you stopped putting yourself first. You stopped personal development wasn't happening for you. Here's the thing. Every Monday, you guys, we post about the National Wake Up Calls. So many of you guys will ask me or other coaches, like you'll watch Ashley or other coaches that are doing really fantastic on this team, and you'll be like, how are you doing it? And you know what? They're not missing the National Wake Up Calls. Do you guys know, like, when I don't know what to do in my business or I don't know what to post, I will download the podcast to the National Wake Up Call, and I will be like, oh my God, that one right there. I missed that. I missed half of that the other time. I'm going to listen to that right now. So make sure that you go to July 9th with Allie that Kendra talked about, because it was a game changer, and maybe it will be for you, maybe it won't, but go to the podcast, look up Beachbody National Wake Up Calls. You can watch the recording, okay? They are there for you guys, those tools, and I will listen to them when I'm getting ready in the morning. You know, you guys that drive to work, whatever you're doing, do it. do it because they really do give you all the tools to grow your business. These are all from the top coaches. Getting uncomfortable. You mentioned that you weren't getting uncomfortable and you were really getting set in your ways and you were just not doing there. Taking action. So one of the things I love about the 5-second rule, obviously 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, it really is like you guys can set big goals, but you guys have got to take action to it. And Kendra was saying, you know, she wasn't having the action that were going with the goals. And so she started having scary goals and putting action to them.
It's good.
Yeah, go ahead, Kendra.
Sorry, it keeps blinking out on me.
Oh, you're good. You're good. And then the thing is, she said that her goals weren't big enough. I guarantee you guys are not setting big enough goals. And like, I know, and I don't want to call you out, TC, but the same thing, like I see, like, and it's not to anything. Hey, I've been called out by Danielle's ex-husband. He was like, dude, Rhonda, really? Success Club 5? Really? I was a brand new coach. He's like, really, Rhonda? I know you can help 5 people per month. Come on, 5 people in 30 days. Are they not worth it? Are you not worth it? And I was like, I can do that. Okay, yeah. And you know what, you guys? The moment he told me that, I haven't missed it as a brand new coach, because I was like, yeah, I'm not pushing myself enough. I am shortchanging myself and other people, right? So ask yourself, are you setting a big enough goal, right? Let's see, set scary goals. Let's see, send me your, the other thing I wanted to, Kendra did not mention, but I know that she did. After the call that her and I had together, I told every single person to send me their goals. I want to see them, and they better be big because I was going to call your ass out on them, right? And I'm sorry, I have a little crazy day, and I had an emotional call before this, and I was kind of teary-eyed and crying a little bit, and so I'm like kind of cussing a little bit more than I should. Sorry. You guys are going to be like, wow, Rhonda, I'll be praying about this. But she sent me them, and I saw them, and I was like, I got to get this girl on a call. Like, she's doing everything right, and I told her, I was like, you're a 10-star diamond in the freaking making, girl. I see it all over your page. Like, it's just, she's living and breathing and she's working and hustling hard, and I see that. And that is why her numbers are where they are, right? Working full-time with kids, right? Let's see. Okay, one thing I wanted to share with you guys, thank you so much for sharing this, Kendra. So I sometimes forget some of the things I did as a brand new coach, and I love that you shared this. You said you have 25 people in your group that purchased something from your website. So when I was a brand new coach, I did not make Shakeology a requirement. I do now as a coach, and it's something that some of you guys might eventually get to the point where you're like, yeah, I absolutely have to. But you guys know, I actually had a phone call, I'll never forget, from a girl that literally only had 20 bucks. And I was like, okay, girl, let's get you the containers, and then we can get you the cookbook next month. And then you know what? And then we're going to go from there. And then she became a coach on my team. And I sit there and I'm like, started with 20 bucks. I said, I need you to have the containers so we can kind of like, you know, get that, and we'll get you the, and she's like, so funny story. She literally bought the containers, and she's like, I'm going to get the cookbook too. I'm going to get that too. And you guys, she got amazing results. So I want you guys to think about what she said. I mean, you just started building that trust. And then at some point within my business, I noticed the people that weren't purchasing Shakeology just weren't getting the best results. And so I do require that now. Know that that's something you can do along the road. But I love that she's like, you know what? You got the workouts, you got something, get them in there, take care of them. Then they build trust. You get to build trust with them. They get to start seeing what the people are doing that are drinking the shake, that they're getting. Here's what happened. I remember the people joined the group, and they're like, why did she lose 6 pounds on the first week? And I'm like, well, she's drinking Shakeology and she's doing the workouts. Oh, yeah. Hey, let me ask my mama. I think I'm going to do that, right? So before you know it, people are like, okay, she's got the results I was looking for in 1 week. I want to do this, right? So listen to Kendra, what she did. Feel free to ask any questions just in a minute here. Never forget who you are. Be transparent. Focus on helping one person per day. So I love this, Kendra, because I think we get overwhelmed with our family. And I love what you shared about your family. And isn't it interesting? And I want to share this, and I love that you shared this too, Kendra. Isn't it interesting that some of our worst critics, or the people that are the most judgmental in our life, are the people that we love, right? Like my mom was the last person to drink Shakeology. She was 2.5 years in. I watched her taking all of her pills one day, and she was constantly complaining about her stomach hurting. I was visiting New Mexico, and I looked at her and I was like, Mom, drink this shake. She was like, it has everything I need in it. I'm like, yeah. She's like, that was amazing. Lost 8 pounds in the first month. No more vitamins. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, I think we just have to show consistency. You know what our family thinks? They love us. They're thinking, oh, Avon's next. Mm-hmm. I mean, they want to believe in you. They love you, but they're like, is this for real? Like, is this for us? This is another thing, you know? It's actually funny. We were at happy hour last Friday, and one of my husband's customers was like, oh yeah, that pyramid scheme you do. And I said, actually, it's not a pyramid scheme. Can I actually tell you what it is? And I was like, actually, it's illegal. I said, let me tell you. So you guys don't know this, but Ashley Molstad, the #1 coach in the industry, is not Danielle's coach. She's actually like inherited her and kind of taken her under her wings, because her upline coach is a relative, and that relative doesn't work the business at all and makes 10 grand a month with Ashley being underneath her. That's not a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme means that one person is making all the money and then everybody else is kind of making little. So I actually shared this and he was like, wow. And I'm like, yeah. Because he's like, I told my wife she should do what you do. I'm like, she should. Because it's a great pyramid scheme. We're all, you know what I mean? So yeah, people are going to think that, of course. And that's our job to go out and share that. So I love that you have never forgot who you are. You're like starting to share that again. You're starting to go, you know what, be real. You guys, those messages that I get from people, those haters, those things, it tells me I need to share that on social. I need to share that on social, right? Like my post with the kids in the grocery cart, you know, today, and then just in general, I get so many messages about people just like, oh, but you know, are you dieting? And I'm always like, this is a great post for the world to see. June, you shared, Kendra, instead of sitting back when things got slow, you doubled up on your personal development. You guys, one of the things that as a brand new coach I sucked at so bad is I hate reading books. Like you guys, you give me a hardback and I'm like, I start falling asleep. Like I just don't love reading books. I really don't. And I remember this holding me back in my business because they're like, you gotta read a book. You gotta read a book. That's when I discovered Audible. And I was like, for me, this works. I still get the hardbacks and I still highlight and do things, right? And you know, the Bible studies are great on hardback and stuff, but I started doing what worked for me. I started doing a podcast. I started, you know, there's times you guys are going to really feel down on yourself. There's days you're going to be depressed. There's days you're not going to want to show up. And the moment that happens, I immediately recognize that I got to feed my soul. I've got to feed my soul and I got to double up my purse. So I love that you shared that. And I love that you recognize that, Kendra. Here's the most powerful thing that you shared. And then I have one question for you, Kendra. In the midst of you learning this, trying different things in the challenge group, doing this, doing that, stumbling, succeeding, basically learning as a coach, you have helped 23 people change their lives. Mm-hmm. There is no dollar amount that you can put that on. When I wrote that down, I was like, that's what this is about. 23 lives while she's trying to learn. You know, she might sit there and go, damn, I messed up here, but that taught me not how to do that. Now I'm going to try this. And I want you guys to know there is no cookie cutter to this business. What works for me may not work for you. There is a platform that technically does work, but you need to try different things. Like the challenge groups, how she's doing them, that's how I used to run it. And then as you evolve and things change, then you slightly will change those. And you'll notice when those times, those moments need to happen. And I love that, Kendra, you noticed that. You noticed your posts weren't being transparent. You noticed you pulled away from who you are. You noticed you weren't feeding your mind. But in the midst of you trying to figure this out and just trying to create the best version of you, you helped 23 lives. That right there, I need a mic. Bam, right? Like that right there is what that's about, you guys. And it's such proof that you don't have to be perfect. One thing I wanted to ask you, Kendra, that I really notice with you is the time commitment that you're putting into this. I hear a lot of people say they don't have the time, and you know, I work full time and I've got 4 kids, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I totally get it, right? And so I want you to share maybe some things that have worked for you in that time element. Or I got to be just honest too. I love Kendra is at work, and I know not everybody can do this. I totally get it, you guys. Kendra, Julie, we've got a lot of coaches. They're at work. They've got their headphones on. And it's funny, she's got Costco in the background, and she's on the live Bible studies. I know not everybody can do it, but it always just makes me smile. I'm like, man, I love this job that we can do it anywhere, no matter where the heck we're at, and it's amazing. So, so Kendra, share like how.
Well, first, I don't want anybody to think that my life is a lot harder than it is. I only work part-time. So I get off by 10 in the morning every morning, but I get up at 3:45 in the morning and go to work. And so then I'm off at 10. And when I come on live to our Bible studies, I could get in so much trouble for that. That's not something I'm supposed to do.
Yes, that's what
it's worth it to me. I headphone in and I pretend like I'm doing something over here with, like safety training.
Yes.
But it's important to me to be in on it and stuff. So my routine as far as time wise, I think that I spend a lot. You and I have talked about this. Your hubby, I think, was the one that brought it up. Oh, she's going to burn out any day now, because I was going all day long, like answering questions and doing. And I'm going to be honest, that hasn't changed very much yet. I did turn all my notifications off, but I can't help it. If somebody text messages me or messages me on Facebook and they are genuinely asking me questions, and they say, like, I know them and I know that they want to be in my group, I'm on it. Like right then I drop everything and help them, as long as it's not something that's going on with my family. If it's in the middle of a football game or a boxing match, you're going to have to wait. But otherwise I'm there. I drop everything and do it. And the one thing I did notice, and I think Karen's been doing this too, I think I saw this on Karen's post, was I will meet people in person here in town. Like I go and meet for coffee. I find that there's a lot of confusion with like my aunt. I just ran into her last night and she was like, I'm too old to be in your group. And I was like, what? I said, I'm going to go home. I'm going to look up some pictures from my upline coach and my other coach friends. There are people that are like 60s in this group doing this. What are you talking about? She thought that I ran a like live group. We all met and worked out together. And she was like, I'm going to have to stand in the back of the room. And I'm like, wait a minute, we need to have coffee. You are so off the mark on what I do. Yeah. So I do spend a lot more time than I think. I don't know though. It's my passion. I don't think I'm going to burn out right now. For right now, when I'm trying to build my business, I really don't set hardcore hours. It's kind of at the need of who needs me, then I do it. But I do try and recognize, like yesterday was my birthday, so I worked for a couple of hours in the morning and then I shut it down for a while and then came home and worked that night. But I do work. My hours are very much just when you need me right now. I do definitely try and check quite a bit.
You're like, I get off at 10 at Costco. That still means you're working a 6-hour day.
Yeah, it's a big day. Yeah.
I was all still working a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, so you're working 6 hours a day, 6-7 hours a day at Costco, and then doing this. And I think here's the one thing I love you shared. So as this business, as you guys evolve, you kind of make adjustments as you need it. Yeah. So like, I remember when I was working, like, not even kidding you guys, I was working 12, 15-hour days doing this. So by the way, that's insane. Like, you should never, ever do that. But I remember corporate was like, what are you doing? Like you don't need to be working that much. They said, did you know the top coaches work 6 to 8 hours a day doing this full time? Why are you doing that? And she was like, you're taking a day off and you're going to tell your team that you take Saturdays off and they're going to know that they can't reach out. And you're going to tell your team to take a day off. And I was like, okay. And you guys are on our team at the time. I went live and I literally shared that. And it was like, okay, me too. And so here's the cool thing is it's here for you guys. You set your own hours, and that's the blessing of this business. I mean, when I first started, I worked 2 hours a day doing this part-time with 2 other jobs. So I love that, Kendra, you like kind of, set that around how you need to, but I also want you guys to know, like, Kendra was so cute. She was telling me in our challenge groups that she's just like, constantly in there. At some point, she'll make adjustments to that and she'll know when. She'll be like, all right, something's got to give. And you're going to kind of look at it and go, right here, right?
You do need to be able to shut it down. So like after I had the conversation with you, and this is kind of the funny thing, if anybody needs motivation and you can't, motivate yourself. Like, I'm one of those people that I like to please, and I have a huge work ethic, but sometimes I don't have a huge work ethic for myself. So Rhonda's my coach and she's my friend, but I also, at this point in my life, when I am trying to build this business for myself, she's my boss. And so I look at Rhonda as my boss. And so when she kind of slapped me down and said, 5, are you kidding me? I want 10 by the 10th. I was like, okay. So I came home from Costco Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and worked from 10:30 in the morning until my husband walked in from work and looked at me, and I was at my desk and I was like, what time is it? Like, I had no idea what time it was because I worked all day on what I could do to like reach 10 by 10, because that's what Rhonda wanted, and I'm going to give her what she wants because she's my boss. And so sometimes you almost have to change your mind frame a little bit at the beginning of this. I think it's not that you don't hustle when you are further up the line and stuff, but you also have that support of a big team too, doing some work behind you. And right now you don't, you're kind of on your own with your challenge group and trying to build your business. And I think that maybe you need to think about it like that. Like, this is work, I enjoy it and it's a passion, but I also have some things I need to meet, and Rhonda's wanting this out of me. So I got to try and do that. And so that's kind of been my mind frame the last month, of just trying to change it into a little bit of a, I know I have a huge work ethic if I'm working for somebody. So hopefully that mental will change, that I can have that work ethic working for myself. But for right now, I'm just working for Rhonda to make it happen. So
I love it. And you know what? Same thing. Like when Danielle's husband told me, he's like, excuse me? Like, really? Success Club 5, Rhonda? You can't help 5 people this month. You're going to hit 10. He's like, and you're going to set that goal to hit by the 10th of the month. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's scary.
You guys, at the time, I was a new coach and I was hitting 5 on the 30th of the month.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? Okay. And I was like, all right, well, he said I'm going to hit it and I need to set this goal, so I'm going to do it. So, okay, ready? Shonda, April, Danielle, Elisa, Nicole, Kendra, Amy, TC, Jen, Marie, you guys all can hit Success Club 10 by the end of the week. And I know you can. That's 5 people. We're on Mondays. That's 1 person a day. That's 1 person a day. But I want you guys to listen. I want you guys to ask questions, but I also wanted to talk a little bit about how I met Kendra. Like, I think it's so funny. Like, we just really put so much emphasis on sharing the 4 vital behaviors, and it is so important, you guys. But the one thing that's really important, you guys, is not to lose who you are. I'm like obsessed. Oh my God, Target and Sephora are like my Disneylands. People, when I do a hashtag Disneyland, they're like, oh, you have Sephora or Target? I mean, like, people know that about me. They're like, oh, which one is it today? Because those are my Disneylands, right? And that's how I connected to her. It wasn't through a workout post or whatever. And I didn't even know she was watching. But that moment of a t-shirt, like, literally made the moment of this woman joining our team, changing 23 lives, just learning this, right? So I want you guys to unmute your line, and I want you to ask questions. Ask Kendra questions. This is your opportunity. She's learning. She's trying new things. She's doing all these different things. I want you guys to ask specific questions, some areas maybe you need help in, or something that you have a question with her based off what she shared.
Or you think I can do something better, hit me. I'm good with it.
April says, so what do you do for inviting? Do you get approached from your post, or do you invite any other way?
The majority of the time I get people asking me on my posts. But I'm gonna be honest. I was watching Jatana today, and she said the majority of the people that inquire are in her Instagram stories, not her Instagram posts or her Facebook posts. And I'm going to add to that. I Instagram story, and I share everything I share on Instagram onto Facebook as well. But I honestly get probably the most chatter and the most views and people asking me questions on, like, the post that Rhonda brought up, where my sister snapped a picture of me hyperventilating, and pretty much I passed out and 2 fighters had to pick me up. I got a whole bunch of hits on that, where it was like, man, I can't even imagine watching my son punching somebody and getting punched back. And, just my raw post just saying, look, I always said I was going to be honest. Here it is. I totally lost the mom award for being able to handle watching my son do that. And I got like 3 ladies who just going through the conversation, not like, oh, well, what do you do to work out? It was, oh, you're a great mom. I wouldn't have been able to do that. And then, hey, I've been watching you on Facebook and you've been doing this. And what have you been doing? I've noticed that you look great. And it's a conversation starter more than an invite. I find that's the majority of the people I get is more from conversation starter.
I love that. So something to take away from this, guys, and it's the same way that I met Kendra. So people watch you guys. They watch you do all your stuff. They're watching, they know what you do, but the conversations often happen in the non-business, in the real life. Do you know what? Hey, another drop the mic moment in the you just being you moments.
Yeah. I find that, and my sister said this to me, mind you, she's completely negative to me, but she showed me, she pulled up her phone and she goes, there's so many people posting their weight journey right now. And she just went like this. And she's like, so you've got people doing their, and we live where there's a lot of gym and a lot of runners and stuff like that. So they're posting their running and they're posting what they've been doing. And she just did this the other day. She's like, oh, I see it. And I just do this. And I'm like, okay, so people aren't stopping when I show like, oh, look at me, I did my weights today. They're not stopping. They're doing that probably just like my sister. And so I had to think of how else am I able to get you to stop and not scroll. Well, that's living my life, and my life is my kids. So I'm going to incorporate my fitness journey with them. So I started bringing my kids as posts, like my son's a fighter. So I post pictures of his abs and I'm like, these are my ab goals. The kid's got 4% body fat. No, I don't train him, but yes, I cook for him. Yes, I feed him. Yes, I know what I'm talking about, and so that's helped a little bit more than just the invite posts, because I think people are just scrolling through that. There's so much of that lately that I think we got to bring something more.
One of the things I noticed about Kendra, and I just totally I had talked to her last week about it, I was like, girl, the thing I love when I go through her page is it isn't just Beachbody. She doesn't scream a Beachbody billboard. She screams she's a mom and that she's working on herself. And I think it's important. So one of the things that I want to look at when I follow somebody on social media is not what they're selling. Like, who are they? Like, who are they? So my post tonight was actually really funny just to get conversation. And I know Kendra, same thing that she did, but something to kind of think about, you guys. So I was going to do a post that said, not everybody at Target is wandering. They're just here to get away from their children. But I didn't want to do another post about getting away from my children because then I'd look like the worst mom on the face of the earth. So I made it about something else so that you guys can go see it. But I was like, oh my God. So I'm like, everybody loves Target. So you got to just be you. And then people build this conversation, and often that leads to, oh, by the way, I've been watching you do this. The other thing, Kendra, I love you just shared is so important. You guys are sharing the transformations from our team on your Instagram stories and your pages. Sharon. So anybody feel free, write her name down, tag her in the coach group. She's 63 years old. She's lost over 25 pounds just doing yoga and the 21-day fix. She's a coach on our team. Her transformation's amazing. Anytime somebody says something, I immediately will send her picture. I'd have to find it. I don't know where it's at right now, but I'm like, oh, I don't help anybody 60 years of age. Oh, hold on. Let me introduce you to Sharon, on our team. So make sure you guys are sharing other people, not just your age. I think that that's important as well. I loved, oh my gosh, real quick, Danielle, I had so many people message me about your abs yesterday. And it's so crazy because I always hesitate to share. Your body seems super similar to mine. So I always but I was so proud of you. Oh, and I always am like, I want to share these big transformations, but I was like, and then Ashley's not on the call, but same thing. And you guys, I showed my husband Ashley's results and Danielle's, and they're already fit, and they went to freaking ripped. And my husband that never ever he's like, yeah, that's great, babe. That's good. You know, yeah. Like, it takes a lot to get a response. He was like, oh, wow. Like, both of you guys. So make sure you're sharing the little transformations and the huge ones and the different age differences of the people on our team as well. If you don't know where they're at, come in our team page and say, hey, guys, does anybody have a transformation of such and such? We will give it to you, okay?
Karen, I see on here you're asking, because it's really hard to be a scroll stopper when you work at a gym and fitness is your passion. So what should I do differently? Karen, I just want to let you know personally, I do follow you, and I absolutely love it when you share about your son. He plays football. You're a football mom. I'm connected to you for that, for life, because you're a football mom. So I watch that, just so you know. And I love those posts when you share about your son and football and that sort of thing. And so sharing a little bit about that for me is my connection, because you're a mom, I'm a mom, you do the football thing, I do the football thing. So the other thing I do too, what was that?
It's just going to say kind of like it goes in and out. Their seasons are in the fall. You know,
yeah.
So when they're playing sports, I'm showing that.
Yeah.
And when they're not, back in like my younger one. So now my older one graduated, but my younger one is going to practice. Now I have thought about going to practice filming him, which would have a hard time. He doesn't have much time there watching just for 5 minutes. So it is hard to kind of step away, because I also, and this is one of my other things I wanted to ask, I also do Zumba all the time, or a HIIT class called Shine. It's like a dance, kind of like Zumba, but it's more dancey. Those are my passion. I rarely step away from fitness for anything else. I love it. And so I don't to cook, so I do share that, you know, I can't find the thing away from fitness to kind of set me apart, because I mean, today when I did my workout and I posted it, and then I posted breakfast, and you know, I don't really want to promote Zumba and Shine, because that's kind of contradicts our beach body, because we have size, and I love size. But you know what I mean? It's tough.
Didn't you post about a parade though the other day too? You were posting when you were in the parade and stuff.
What's that?
Didn't you post the other day when you were in the parade and stuff like that? You were screenshotting the parades. I stopped and looked at what you were doing.
Great.
So, I mean, anything that you're doing, and it's not bad to post. I don't think it's bad to post your fitness stuff, but I honestly look at my Facebook page and my Instagram page, and if I've posted something about Beachbody like 2 days in a row or 2 posts in a row, I always make sure, oh wait, I've done 2 Beachbody posts. I better post something about my family or about something else I'm doing. And I try and just make sure that I'm not over posting that my workouts or my food or something like that. I really do take a look at what I posted today. Okay, well, I posted 2 times having to do with workouts or Beachbody. So now I'm only going to post inspirational, motivational, saying somehow what I read, how it worked for me today, or one of my kids doing something. And so I do look at that and make sure that it kind of balances out all the time, Beachbody posts versus my personal posts. So when I look at my page, it's not just the 80-day extreme there for a while. It was like day 1, day 2, all the way through to 80. So I really wanted to make sure I was getting some family posts in there too, because who wants to see me just doing 80 days worth of stuff? So I do try and do that. I really do take a close look at what I'm posting, and you forget. So I go on there and make sure that, oh, look, I posted twice today for Beachbody. I'm not doing it again today. I'm going to do something else. So
right. And I do go back and forth between food and the motivation and then fitness. So I kind of try to rotate the 3 around, and then my kids when I can, or my family. So
God bless the fall when football comes back. You'll be in like Flynn.
I know.
I love what you shared, Kendra, because you stop the scroll for Karen when you see the other things.
Yeah, I do. I want to know what she's doing in her life. I want to, because I know she's Beachbody. So I look at like I watch several of our coaches' stuff and get ideas from them, and we share. I'm sure people look at mine and go, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll do something off that or whatever. But I really do look at their lives. That's what stops me, because I want to get to know them a little better. Oh, this is what Karen's got going on in her life. This is what, you know.
I think that's super important to take away, everybody, because it really is what connects you with other people. Like, half the time they watch you doing a workout, doing all this stuff, and they're just like, I can't even relate. But then you share something with your son, and like, you've got that connection, like the football thing, right? Or the big son thing, or like I post something, oh my God, you guys, Thor is huge for me. Oh my gosh. I think everybody that's joined our team has a puppy or a dog. Like, it's like, right? Like I laugh, and I'm just like, because we all have that connection, which is what brought us together. The same thing with Kendra here, the top, you know, from Target. Like, that was the original connection, not the Beachbody stuff. And so that's why I really spend so much time on our team. And I know you guys probably are like, God, here Rhonda goes talking about our brand and what we should talk about again. But it really is what people purchase. It's not the fact that you're pressing play. It's not the fact that you're drinking a shake that's going to change their body. It's not the fact that you're feeding their soul, because they look at that and they go, oh my God, this girl's like a robot. I don't know how she does these things. It's the real life stuff that people kind of go, oh, like Karen, I think of you, and I think I shared on a call recently. We did the Bible study call, and I was like, oh, Karen, there's your husband. And you're like, no, that's my son. And I was like, dang, kids get big nowadays. Like, I'm not in that, right? I'm not in that big son moment or big daughter moment. So I was like, that's your son? Like, so like that was a moment for me, which sounds kind of funny, but it's those other moments that people really love you for, and what actually brings out the other conversations. So remember that. And just like Kendra shared, I really work really hard at not just being this like constant, like, you know, like today I talked about Target, and I was at the grocery store, you know, shopping. Like, yeah, I kind of brought a little bit to business, but not, you know, it was still also just me. So we've got, let's see, Jen said she posted Sharon's results in our coach group. Jen, thank you so much. Let's do this one last question.
What did Elisa say?
What is it? Shonda said, how?
Yeah. Elisa, about addictions, or I did. Honestly, Elisa, I don't handle them. I just, like, I had somebody today, she said she can't afford the Shakeology right now, but she is very curious about the workouts, and that, you know, and like I said, I let anybody into my group that orders something on my website. So like Rhonda shared, $20, that's all you got to buy the containers, fine. So I try and meet them where they're at. And if, like, perfect example, I have a lady in my group, her husband is a diehard anti-protein shake dude. Like, there was no way I was selling her on the Shakeology. It was not how Beachbody. I shared everything, got back to her. She sends me an email saying, I just went on your website and I bought the DVDs. I'm going to do 21 Day Extreme. Brandon doesn't think I need anything else. And that was the end of the conversation. I was like, no problem. I'll add you to my group. I'm going to put you in. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Let me know how things go, blah, blah, blah. He wouldn't even let her buy the containers because they have measuring cups. You can measure your food. So 2 rounds of 21 Day Fit Extra, or the 21 Day Extreme. And she dropped 14 inches. And guess who was in the picture next to her for the sweaty selfie? It was Brandon, because he wanted to know what was going on with these workouts that were working so well at home. And I told my husband, I go, 30 days, and I'm gonna have him into the Shakeology, because he's gonna want to, you know. So it's that thing where it might be a price objection at first. You never know what might happen after that. So
I love it. I love it. It is so awesome. And you know what? I love that. Here's what I always say is I always tell people when people have a price objection too, I'll always say, let's start you with this. We'll talk about the Shakeology down the road. I always kind of let them know that we're going to have that conversation. I'm like, let's do this, and then we're going to go here. And then they kind of go, okay, that sounds great, right? Yeah. I love that. There was also, Shonda said, how do you do it when working 12 plus hours with getting in workouts and no sleep?
I only work 6 hours a day without Beachbody. So it's not 12. And I get 4 to 5 hours of sleep, which is so incredibly wrong. I tell nobody to do that. It's aging me. Someday, hopefully, I can get more sleep. But I can't. I have 4 teenagers and 3 teenagers and a young man. So I don't go to bed before 10 o'clock, and then I get up at 3:45. And you know what? I live off Energize, Shonda. I live off Energize.
And I always tell people that can't get the workout in, because I actually have a lot of customers that like, they're just like, girl, I'm working 15-hour days, I can't. I was like, let's focus on one thing. Let's focus on food. And then what I'll say is, like, once we start doing that, I'll be like, all right, so let's make a goal. Like, now that we've got this down, let's do 3 workouts a week. And they're like, oh, okay, I can do that. And all of a sudden it like becomes this, because they've been able to kind of work on one area instead of it all at once. Because I do think that like we have to almost meet our customers where they're at. Some people like to do all of it. That's a lot. Yeah. So why don't we start on, hey, let's start with the shake. And then we're going to start getting you organized with the meal planning. Okay. Yeah. Let's start the shake first. And then down the road, we're going to do this. That way they're not just so like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do everything you're doing. So
I have several people in my group that get a very small amount of sleep because of what we do and our work thing. And they're my biggest customers for peanut butter cups and Energize. We live off of it right now. But
I love that.
If you got to work and you have a busy schedule, Shonda, I honestly slam that workout in, make no excuses, slam it in the second you get home from work, because you can do it, and then proceed with your day and do whatever you need to do. But that way, you're getting in what works for you. So for me, that means coming home, and sometimes I'm dragging butt, and the very first thing I do is take my shot at Energize and do my workout, because I know if I push it off, I'm going to get too tired, and I know I'm not going to do that. So yeah,
I set my alarm for 5 in the morning, because I know with my knees and where I'm at in my working out right now, and I'm sure other people are like that, if I don't get up and do it first thing in the morning, I'm in too much pain when I come home. Like, there's just no way. But if I'm pretty sure, I'm like, all right, you get it in. I already looked. I'm like, it's 35 minutes. I'm perfectly okay going without makeup to work. I could care less. Yeah. But I was just like, okay, I've done excuses, but for other people, like, I know it's like, you work on your feet all day. Like it's hard for a lot of people. So
yeah, I have a nurse that is doing what you're doing. She works 12s in my group right now. And so we shifted her around. She was struggling. And so I said, it is what it is. You go into work with no makeup and you wear scrubs, so you don't have to spend that much time getting ready. Pound out that 30-minute workout before you go, set that alarm. And so she's actually started doing that too, because she was getting home at 9, 10 o'clock at night. She's been helping people all day, pouring into people, pouring into others, and she just wasn't finding time for herself. So she's setting that alarm 30 minutes early and getting up and doing it before she goes. And she says it's completely changed her day. She has way more energy to help people at work. She comes home from work and knows that she can just eat and go to bed and not have to stress about having to get a workout in. So, some days she messes up and she doesn't get up in time, and she's got to either skip it or do it. But that's a great way to do it, is to get up earlier in the morning and just know you got to do it and make a habit of it and just make it happen.
Hey, Miss Kendra, let's do this one last question. I'll ask that I know on here, but I don't. Oh, there it is. Karen said, do you do a sneak peek on your own, or do you do Rhonda's? Because I know, Kendra, like, without question, you're going to definitely be diamond, like, literally next month, within the next 30 days. And I know you've signed a lot of coaches. So if you have any tips you can share on how you're doing that would be awesome.
That one for me is one I have not figured out yet. I'm still struggling with that and trying to figure that one out. All my coaches are discount coaches, and not one of them, well, there's one, but the rest of them have no desire to be anything more yet. And I always just leave it at yet. And so I post Rhonda's sneak peeks. If they want to take a look at it, they're free. They can do that. I don't run my own. I do talk about coaching in my group. I do talk about coaching to the ladies, but I know that they've come into this group and they're not there yet. The coaches I have are not there yet. They're here to improve on themselves and just get it down. And they're doing it because they wanted the shake, and it's the way they can afford it. And I have told them from the beginning, I will never pressure you to work the business, and I will never pressure you to spend money that you don't have. You're in my group for life. Let's just make it happen and life change. So I still have to figure that coaching part out. I haven't figured it out yet.
Totally. And I think like the one thing that's really important to remember is so many coaches. I mean, like I was a discount coach. I was like, I don't have time to do anything, but maybe I will someday, but I'm not interested kind of thing. Remember, 71% of discount coaches end up working in the business. But the one thing that I actually am really good about sharing, even with the discount coaches, is I'll send them a voice message after they sign up to be a coach, or even at some point within our conversation, I say, hey, because I signed for the discount. I don't even know why I have customers. I always kind of make a joke about it. But truly, I always plant a seed, and it's there in their head because this seed changed everything for me.
Yeah.
I literally remember being told, if you want your products paid for, so this is what I say to people. Hey, and if you ever want to learn how to get your products paid for, let me know. I'm there to help. Instantly, I remember hearing that as a discount coach, and I remember going into Danielle's coach page and being like, so I heard something about if I wanted my products paid for, what does that take? They're like 3 customers. I'm like, that's it? Are you kidding? 3? Oh my God, really? Okay, I'm doing that right now. Because my husband's like, how are you going to pay for that challenge pack? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, and so that's, for me, that was like, duh, 3 people? I'm like, I can do that. And then I still wasn't working in the business, right? I helped those people, and then I fell in love with the challenge groups, and I fell in love with the support. So never, ever discredit that, but definitely offer your challenge groups the opportunity to join the sneak peek. Say, hey, check them out. No, they're there. If you want to you see me always talking about it, you're really curious, you want to know, click the link. Join. We've got this awesome group going on this week where you can learn more about what it exactly we do, right? Mm-hmm. So like it's super simple to invite even in the challenge groups and just kind of post it in there because you guys, you know what? They don't know what we do. Look at Kendra where she talked about how her lady's like, oh, are y'all meeting in person? Like people really don't know what we do. So go into your challenge groups, and I encourage you guys, grab the link and share it. And they're like, hey guys, I've got a lot of you guys asking, what exactly do we do as coaches? And what does this look like? And beyond this challenge group, like what do we actually do? Click this link and join for free. You'll learn this week. Mm-hmm. It's that, like it literally doesn't have to be, I never pressure anybody, ever. Like and then I have a phone call with them, if they want more information. So yeah, so Kendra, I want to thank you so much for jumping on here and just sharing some of your tips and tools. I think it's so important that we learn from all of us because so many of you guys are crushing it and already like literally the first week of this month, so many of you guys already hit Success Club. And it was like, there is something magical, the fact that you guys are all doing similar but different things. But I think one of the biggest takeaways from today is to not forget who you are, to also make sure you're sharing all those other things because that's a lot of times when the connection is actually being made, right? And if you're struggling, make sure you're doing your personal development. Make sure you're doing those things. Make sure you're sharing other people's results, not just your own as well. So Kendra, thank you so much. I'm so incredibly proud of you. And absolutely no doubt, this is why you're successful. You are working hard. You recognize those moments of struggle. And instead of them letting you break you, you're like, how could I do this differently? And that's the difference between somebody that succeeds and somebody that doesn't. They kind of look at it and go, I'm going to let this empower me. And no doubt, girl, you're going to crush next month and you'll be our next diamond. So I'm so, so proud of you. And I know that you can do anything you set your mind to. Just make it sure it's scary. Okay? And I know it. So you guys, thank you so much. Any other questions that you guys might have, will you guys do me a favor? Go in the coach group and tag her. Tag Kendra if there's any other questions you guys might have that you weren't able to ask, and just ask her on that page, and let's keep this conversation going. But thank you for all the questions, and Kendra, thank you for your time tonight, and everybody. Bye, you guys. Have a great night. Bye.